Hello guys, in this section I will cover overloading, overriding, constructor calls using this and super. First, let's start by overloading and overriding. When using overloading, we are actually using a method with the same name as the other method, but with different arguments. Let's check at this person operation class. This class has two methods. One that processes an admin object and the other that processes a super admin object. Let's look at this polymorphism class that we worked with in the previous video. From the instance created in person operations, we have access to divisible methods from this class. We called processing admin method after casting the person object to an admin object. Let's do the same with super admin, in which case we will invoke the processing super admin method. If we run this, we won't print anything, since the method from person operations does not have logic. Now, imagine if we had hundreds of methods, for example, processing manager, processing existence, processing accountant, and so on. Wouldn't it be a bit confusing to deal with all this naming about processing? Fortunately, there's a way in which we can invoke just one method name, as we will see now. You see, both methods are named alike. The difference is that each one of these methods receives a different argument. Each of these methods will be invoked according to the argument you pass. So, if we invoke processing and pass an admin object, the method with admin argument will get executed. And if we pass an object with super admin, this method will get executed. Now, instead of invoking processing admin and processing super admin, we will just call processing. And our overloaded methods have been executed accordingly. Let's see legal scenarios when using overloaded methods. It's perfectly fine for the overloaded methods to have different return types. Let's declare a method that returns a string. The primary and most important thing to know about overloaded methods is that it is all about having different arguments. Let's check two more methods. One method of float return type and the other of integer return type, both receiving an integer as argument. As you can see, even if the return types are different, the compiler treats this method as duplicates. Now let's get on with overriding. We have two classes, one is shape and the other triangle. We will extend shape from triangle, so we make the shape is a triangle relationship. Now I will declare the getTypeString method in shape. In overriding class, I will create two instances of type shape, but one of them created from triangle instance. And then from these instances, I will call the getType method. And there you go. Now we will overload this method in class triangle. I want you to notice here that these two methods will be totally different. They will just share the name of the overloaded method. And now we will override this method. Unlike the overloaded method we just created, this is the same method but with different implementation. The reason the previous method did not override the getType method is because of the argument. In order to override, the arguments section must be the same, just like the noArgument method we just created. If we run this, we see that the object created from shape instance printed the shape's getType method, and the object created from triangle instance invoked the overriding method. For the exam, you need to know if the methods inherited from classes you extend are actually overloading or overriding. So my advice is that you exercise this part pretty well, so this type of questions don't trick you. Now let's focus in the return type. In the objectives from overloading and overriding, you are also expected to recognize legal overriding and overloading return type implementations. We already saw that it doesn't matter to have a different return type when overloading. In short, return type in overloading doesn't matter. What only matters in overloading is the arguments. Therefore, converting this return type from a string to float is perfectly fine. Aside from overloading, where it's okay to have different return types, now comes the question, is it okay also to have different return type with methods that are overriding? The answer is yes, but we have limitations as we will see now.